of the Imitation of Christ by Thomas à Kempis. Book 1, Admonitions Useful for the Spiritual Life. Chapter 23, Of the Thought of Death. Very soon will there be an end of thee here. Consider thy condition elsewhere. A man is today, and tomorrow he is gone. But when he is taken away from sight, he quickly also passes out of mind. Oh, the dullness and hardness of man's heart, which thinks only on what is present, and looks not still more to the things that are to come. Thou oughtest in every action and thought so to order thyself as if thou wert this day to die. If thou hadst a good conscience, thou wouldst not much fear death. It were better for thee to take heed not to sin than to be afraid of death. If thou art not prepared today, how wilt thou be tomorrow? Tomorrow is an uncertain day, and how dost thou know that thou wilt have a tomorrow? What profits it to live long, when we are so little the better? A long life does not always mend us, but often adds to our guilt. Would that we had passed but one day well in this world. Many count the years of their conversion, but oftentimes the fruit of amendment is small. If it be full of fear to die, perhaps it will be more dangerous to live longer. Blessed is he who always has the hour of death before his eyes, and every day disposes himself to die. If thou hast ever seen a man die, think that thou must also pass through the same way. In the morning think thou wilt not come to evening, and at evening dare not promise thyself the morning. Be therefore always ready, and live in such wise that death may never find thee unprepared. Many die suddenly, and when they look not for it. For the Son of Man will come at the hour when he is not looked for. When that last hour shall come, thou wilt begin to have quite other thoughts of thy whole past life, and thou wilt be exceedingly grieved that thou hast been so negligent and remiss. How happy and prudent is he who strives to be such now in life as he desires to be found at death. For it will give a man a great confidence of dying happily, if he has a perfect contempt of the world, a fervent desire of advancing in virtue, a love of discipline, the toil of penance, a ready obedience, self-denial, and patience in bearing all adversities for the love of Christ. Thou mayest do many good things whilst thou art well, but when thou art sick, I know not what thou canst do. Few are improved by sickness. They also who go on many pilgrimages seldom become holy. Trust not in thy friends and kinsfolk, and put not off the care of thy soul to hereafter. For men will sooner forget thee than thou dost think. It is better now to provide in time, and send some good before thee, than to trust in the help of others. If thou art not careful for thyself now, who will be careful for thee hereafter? Now time is very precious. Now is the day of salvation. Now is the acceptable time. But, alas, that thou dost not more profitably spend this time, wherein thou canst earn that whereby thou mayest live forever. The time will come when thou wilt wish for one day or an hour to amend, and I know not whether thou wilt obtain it. Come then, my beloved, from how great a danger mayest thou deliver thyself? From how great a fear mayest thou be freed, if thou wouldst only be always fearful and looking for death? Make it thine aim so to live now, that in the hour of thy death thou mayest rather rejoice than fear. Learn now to die to the world, that then thou mayest begin to live with Christ. Learn now to despise all things, that then thou mayest freely go to Christ. Chastise thy body now by penance, that thou mayest then have an assured confidence. Ah, fool, why dost thou think to live long, when thou art not sure of one day? How many have been deceived, and have been unexpectedly snatched from the body? How often hast thou heard it related? Such an one was slain by the sword, another was drowned, another falling from on high broke his neck. This man grew stark in chewing his food, that another came to his end when he was at play. Some have perished by fire, some by steel, some by pestilence, and some by robbers. Thus death is the end of all, and man's life passes suddenly like a shadow. Who will remember thee after death, and who will pray for thee? Do, my beloved, do now all thou canst, because thou knowest not when thou shalt die, nor knowest thou what shall befall thee after death. Whilst thou hast time, heap up to thyself undying riches. Think of nothing but thy salvation, care only for the things of God. Make now to thyself friends by honoring the saints of God and imitating their actions, that when thou shalt fail in this life, they may receive thee into everlasting habitations. Keep thyself as a pilgrim and a stranger upon earth, to whom the affairs of this world do not at all belong. Keep thy heart free and raised upwards to God, because thou hast here no abiding city. Send thither thy daily prayers and sighs with tears, that thy spirit may be worthy to pass after death happily to the Lord. Amen. And that concludes chapter 23 of Book 1 of the Imitation of Christ.